Can we all just come together as a family? Come together as friends? And come together just to enjoy Mike's t-shirt. It's a work of art.
Yes.
And so are you.
Jump scare. Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Insidious, The Red Door, directed by Patrick Wilson. Based on characters created by Lee Whannell, screenplay by Scott Teems, starring Ty Simpkins, Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Sinclair Daniel, Andrew Astor, Steve Coulter. It's pretty much like 3 people the whole time.
Yeah.
And then other people come and go.
Just hanging out.
This, of course, is the 5th installment in the Insidious series. The first one, since one had the word last in the title, the last key, of course. So, things, we can't trust titles anymore.
What is final?
Nothing's final anymore.
Not even.
Nobody's ever really dead. The Insidious series is possibly one of the best mainstream horror series, mainly the first one.
Yeah.
I saw it when it came out when I was in college in 2011. Saw it with my college buddies. We were obsessed with it for a little bit. There's someone. Who the fuck is parking near us? Don't they know that we own this place? But yeah. This guy's trying to fight. But yeah, so going into this movie, I re-watched chapters 1 and 2 to catch myself up on. Chapters 3 and 4 are prequels, so I didn't really care. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
People blow my mind on just... Anyway.
So I knew that chapter 3 and the last key were not going to really do anything going into this movie, so I only watched 1 and 2. 2 is about as bad... Not... as mediocre as I remembered it being. 1 was a lot cornier than I remembered it being, but you know, that's how horror movies go. They age like diapers.
Solid or liquid?
Solid or liquid.
It's a mystery.
Solid's worse. But Glenn, you were struggling to stay awake this entire time. What did you think?
So it was really funny after our podcast that is going to be released after this video. We were talking about all the Insidious movies and which ones I had actually seen or not, and I don't remember any past the first one, really. Turns out, I watched them all.
There you go.
I had no idea. It's like, I'm like Patrick Wilson in these movies. Like, I just got erased of all those memories a little bit. I only remember bits and pieces of the last keys, or whatever the fuck, the 5 keys of the little fingered girl. I remember the second one just a little bit, mainly because the 2 sisters, but the first one's the only one that sticks a little bit more, but I don't remember fuck all about any of them, other than they just created a spin-off series like crazy. Conjuring, well, not really a spin-off, but like they made it directly after Insidious, and then that became its own spin-off series of unfortunate events. But this one, yes. First off, I was a little sleepy. I had a normal day, but I was a little sleepy.
It happens.
And then, like, this would have been a pretty good movie to fall asleep to, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to give an honest review. But
yes.
In order to do that, I had to fidget a lot. My hips were hurting at a certain point. I wanted to start doing yoga, but that's frowned upon in the middle of a theater during a movie. But hey, fuck it. But yeah, this movie, wasn't expecting too much, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
Not too
much. The main reason we went into it is we're both relatively big-ish fans of Patrick Wilson.
Dude's a hunk.
He's a hunk.
He'll steal your girl.
Yeah. Little Children. Watchmen.
Yeah.
Other movies from the early noughts, late noughts, mid noughts, whatever you want to call them. And this was his directorial debut, of course, so we wanted...
Gotta support the man.
Gotta support it. And, Yeah, so we went in, again, like you, I wasn't really expecting too much.
Yeah.
This movie tried some things that I appreciated, not that they necessarily worked, but it felt like it was trying to be different than even the other movies in the Insidious series. Of course, there's the jump scares and the formulaic building of tension that is in all modern horror movies. But like as far as like themes and imagery and actual like events that were happening in the movie, it did feel like they were trying to be different, and I appreciated that aspect of it. Like I said, not everything worked the way I think they wanted it to. It was an oddly silent film for a horror movie that wasn't called The Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was meant to, but it just felt really still a lot of the time, which kind of made it feel like it dragged a little bit. But then at times that was also really awesome because it added to the tension.
Yeah.
For instance, in one of the beginning scenes, Patrick Wilson's in the car texting, and it's silent for the most part. But there's a very blurred character in the background just approaching the car, and that was terrifying. That was probably the most terrifying part of the movie. It's a shame it happened in the first 5 minutes. For me personally,
there was a lot of like, as far as that scene goes, they did a couple of those.
Yeah.
Not one where like they did the one where somebody was slowly walking towards the car in the rear view, or it wasn't even the rear view.
You just saw it through the back windshield.
Yeah, but they did another one where there was like he was trying to do this memory game and someone keeps getting closer to the window.
Yeah.
That was cool too. I feel like those scenes really worked, and then the jump scares itself I thought worked, but the problem with it was they didn't trust themselves, so they just put a really loud fucking noise there, and it got me 2 or 3 times because I'm like, oh, this would be cool. Like,
I mean, that
just like a jump scare, like just coming out, like sure, but like when you go,
well, that's Insidious did that, like in the very famous jump scare with the lipstick demon behind Patrick Wilson from the first one, that has really loud music accompanying it, or a loud sting. So it was nice to not have jump scares that ended up just being cats or whatever. Like each jump scare was actually a thing, but it would have been more impactful for some of them at least to maybe not have such an aggressive sting on them. You'd have to put something like like a bass boom or something.
There was one really good one in this one that I thought worked very well, but they put that loud fucking noise in there. Is when Dalton's like doing a chalk thing. It's the first time he's in his class and he's drawing the door basically, and like it does this cool transition where he's going up with the chalk and then like a hand comes in, and it's really, but it's that loud fucking noise, and it scared the shit out of me because of course but I thought it was a really cool little scene, but of course, I was super bitter because I just shit my pants.
Yeah. It really just felt like this movie was trying to be, for lack of a better example, like more artistic, kind of like Hereditary, where it is a little more quiet and toned down, and mainly based on family drama. But then it also was clinging on to those loud, aggressive jump scares that is like tainting modern horror for the most part, and those every now and then is fine, but when it's like once every 5 minutes, it's just like, okay, come on. The best parts of this were when things were creeping up in the background. Those were the creepiest parts. I loved,
especially that beginning one.
Yeah, the beginning one, and then the one when he's in the MRI machine. I forget what it is.
Oh, yeah.
But
CAT scan.
Yeah, the CAT scan. So it has moments of great creepy intensity, but then it kind of ruins it with jump scares. I really like. I think Patrick Wilson, moving forward, is probably going to become a better and better director. You know, that happens. People's first movies aren't necessarily always great. So I'm excited to see what he does in the future. This isn't like a movie where someone directs where there's just no talent there. He has a vision, and that was cool to see. But you know, overall, I think it's a little too dull for mainstream horror audiences, and a little too mainstream for like artistic horror. So it's too much in the middle.
Yeah.
Where neither side I think is gonna really love it. They might like it, but I don't think either side's gonna really love it.
This is a good one for him.
Yeah.
And he could build off of.
I hope it makes money just so he can continue directing, because I think he does have potential.
I mean, as far as like our theater was filled. There was people in
it was
there.
a smaller house, but it was filled.
But I mean, I hope he gets more people to see his movie. But I really wished he didn't have to do a sequel to a series as his first movie. It would have been nice to see. But, you know.
Maybe he wanted to. Who knows?
He wanted to. I mean, this was like one of his big breakouts.
Yeah.
Besides, you know, Watchmen and stuff. But, yeah. A little positive, the aesthetic and like vibe of the further, and like where it's just like a fog when it's like in the lamp and it's just pure blackness, or just straight dark in the background. I love that look so much.
I do too, but the entire time I was thinking they did this to save money.
Oh,
and
no
I
doubt.
thought that when I saw the first one too. When I saw the first one, and it's just him walking in a what is obviously just a soundstage with smoke on the ground.
Yeah,
but.
it reminded me of like Silent Hill, just like deleting all of the buildings. It's just like the fog and everything, like the creepiness. Obviously, there's no monsters popping up. I mean, there's maybe like a ghost like tickling his ear hole, but no big deal.
Yeah.
But it felt like that, and I really like that aesthetic as far as that goes.
One thing I noticed rewatching chapters 1 and 2, they always just find a way to get Callie, the baby in 1 and 2, out of it, and in this one they did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
She's older. She's like maybe 9 or 10 in this. And she's in like 1, maybe 2 scenes, and then they make excuses to exclude her the rest of the time. And I thought that is probably only because I watched 1 and 2 before watching this. But I was just like, man, they really just find excuses to get that baby out of that house.
You would have never known there was 3 siblings.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
So
there was 3 siblings.
I thought it'd be real. I mean, if this makes money, there's no doubt they're going to continue the Insidious franchise. It's just that's how movies work today, unfortunately. It'd be interesting to see one where Callie is not just thrown to the side and is actually made into a character and not just a set piece, which she essentially is in 1 and 2. And in this, it's just like, oh, people are going to wonder what happened to the baby, so let's throw her in this funeral scene. Overall, meh.
Super meh.
Super meh. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm probably never going to watch it again unless like a friend who I haven't seen in a long time wants to go see. So no calls yet. So probably not going to see it again.
Dalton's character was super dull.
Yeah.
You don't really want to follow him that much.
All the college kids were like, it was obviously a middle-aged man writing what he thinks Gen Z college kids are like. Which, honestly, like, I don't know what Gen Z college kids are like, but it's not that. It's not what we saw.
It's a rough estimate, almost worse, actually.
Yeah.
But they'd all be on their phones, period.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a lack of phones in this.
Super lack. Besides the beginning, when Dalton was just chilling on his phone. Dalton was stale. I'm not going to blame that on Ty at all. What was Sinclair or whatever her name was?
Yeah.
She played Chris. She was hilarious.
Yes. To a fault sometimes.
To a fault.
Because it felt like they were trying to make her character fill in the blanks that like Ty Simpkins' character otherwise could have filled in. So yeah, sorry.
It's just the dynamic of that friendship that. Okay, it's contrast pretty hard. It's like super dull, overly happy. Sure, there's friendships like that, and there needs to be to balance that out. But it was a little rough going on with the material that was happening here, and demons choking bitches out.
Yeah. Ultimately, I blame the writing for the lack of this. I think some of the pacing and the silence of this, which I didn't mind, but didn't really fit this kind of movie. I think that goes to Patrick Wilson, but also first-time director. He's gonna make mistakes like that.
And it's just another sequel that didn't necessarily need to be made.
No, although they still have never questioned the cliffhanger in Chapter 2, and I don't think they will.
I don't even remember it.
Elise, the medium character, a ghost now walks into a house, speaks to a young lady, and then sees something in the corner, and then cut to black. And then we'd never know what she sees in the corner.
I assume they just wanted to do a spin-off, but never did, like
Yeah.
the Conjuring stuff.
I read somewhere, I don't know how true this is, that someone spoke to the writer and that they said they couldn't figure out what to do with that. But, like, just fill it in with the ghost that you filled in with chapter 3 or 4. Like, it's not that hard. It doesn't need to be something super intense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, why is it haunting that lady? But who cares? Like, whatever. Ratings wise, I'm gonna give this a 2.5. It's not offensive enough to be lower than down the middle for me. Although entertainment wise, it probably is a little lower. But like, I wasn't angry watching it.
I wasn't either. I was just
Bored.
It sounds mean, but I was bored.
Yeah.
I was pretty bored. I want to give it a 2. I'll probably be generous and give it a 2.5 because mainly it was just me being like antsy, I guess. Yeah, fuck it, 2.5.
I'm just excited to see what Patrick Wilson does from here.
I love that man.
I love that man too. That man,
so handsome,
so handsome,
talented,
so
too.
handsome, so talented.
Steals so many women in all those movies.
He does. He
It's fucking
does.
Crazy. Like,
He got beef with Samuel L. Jackson from that one movie. What was it called? The Terrorist or something?
No idea. If you go back to his track record in movies and see all of his wives or girlfriends in all of those movies, you'll be like, holy fuck. Patrick Wilson?
He's great in Little Children, and that's a movie that not many people talk about because it sounds lame, but it's actually really compelling.
It does sound pretty lame.
It's not. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, if you saw Insidious, The Red Door, what did you think? Tell us down in the comments down below. What happened to Callie? Why is she always just thrown to the side?
Who is Callie?
She's the baby. The baby. And in this, the 9-year-old girl. But what excuses can we make up for her to be missing from the next movie? She is on sabbatical at the age of 16. She's taking a sabbatical. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.